Shine, everyone. Thank you for joining us on air and streaming on the KARE 11 app here on this Friday Junior. It's not Friday. Friday Junior, Thursday morning. That's the risk when I say this whole Friday Junior nonsense.
I always confuse. I'm like, wait,
because I got everybody's hopes up and then I deflated them immediately. Sorry, everybody. It is Thursday. One more day to go, though.
One more day to go, and we're going to get through it together. Let's get out to Jamie Cagle in the backyard. Is it going to be a soaker at all today? Yesterday was a lot. Okay, good.
Much drier today, but for friends in southwest Minnesota, a little bit of passing rain, isolated showers. We'll talk about Friday, though. More isolated thunderstorms coming through in the afternoon hours, and then a beautiful weekend shaping up. Let's take a look outside right now. And again, there's some clouds in the area. Looking out towards the eastern portion of South Dakota, we'll have a little bit of that rain moving in. Like I said, we'll time out some isolated thunder showers for southwest Minnesota later on today. Current temperatures, we're all going to start out somewhere in the 50s unless you're in Grand Rapids or International Falls, Thief River Falls, and Bemidji. We'll get to the low 70s. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of a northwest breeze for today. Temperatures still trending below average as well. All right, if you're about to head out the door, stop for a second, check out CC's road report.
Yeah, let's talk about it. 6:02. Good morning. Much drier than this time yesterday. You don't need to add any extra time. It's crazy what 24 hours can do. Live look here in Plymouth, 494. Good morning. If you're watching from there, traffic flow is picking up nicely and not seeing any backups. Again, no crashes out there. Traffic flow looks great, but so much construction is happening. I'm going to preview a few more projects for you before our show ends, just so you're prepared for this morning and tonight.
Cece, thank you very much. Let's get to our top story of the morning. A new report out overnight from Human Rights Watch detailing the impacts of Operation Metro Surge here in Minnesota.
The group says the federal government caused a, quote, manufactured crisis in the Twin Cities. Audrey Russo is live in Minneapolis with a closer look at the nearly 200-page report. Audrey, good morning.
Good morning. This report includes interviews from more than 130 people, including immigrants, legal experts, current and former government officials. To summarize the gist of it, Human Rights Watch is essentially calling on everyone at every level of government, from President Trump all the way down to local law enforcement here in Minnesota, to enact massive reforms to immigration. Now, their demands of the president are pretty straightforward. They want to end mandatory detention of immigrants, and they want to end deportation quotas. Human Rights Watch calls on the federal government to also hold hearings on ICE agent conduct. Now, there have been some hearings like this already, plus we've reported on similar fact-finding at the state level, often with federal lawmakers in attendance. The report asks the feds not to fund expanded ICE detention capacity. But just 2 weeks ago, we learned that Federal Homeland Security was looking into using the Prairie Correctional Facility here in Appleton to house up to 1,600 detainees. And the organization also asks local law enforcement to end any cooperation agreements that they may have with ICE. We know that several Minnesota counties have signed agreements, and that was actually cited as one of the main reasons why Operation Metro Surge was brought to an end. And we're going to learn more about the full findings of this report at 10, but for now, I'll send things back to you.
All right, Audrey Russo reporting live in Minneapolis. Thank you very much. Developing this morning, a man is facing charges for allegedly threatening St. Paul Mayor KARE while she was a state legislator. Lou Ragoose has more.
St. Paul man is charged with threatening and harassing Mayor KARE last summer when she was in the Minnesota House of Representatives. 49-year-old Pao Her Lee faces felony threats of violence and gross misdemeanor harassment. The criminal complaint says in the weeks after Representative Melissa Hortman was murdered, Lee posted a video to YouTube that showed the current mayor, along with Hortman and State Senator John Hoffman, who was wounded in the assassination attempt. And on that video, it showed bullet holes on Hortman's face and Mayor Her's face. Mayor Her said the video narration, which is in Hmong, called for the community to kill her. The mayor does not know the defendant, and she was further frightened when she found her gate left open by a potential intruder. The case is being prosecuted by the Hennepin County Attorney's Office to avoid a conflict of interest. County Attorney Mary Moriarty, in a statement, said that these threats were made in the immediate aftermath of one of the most traumatizing instances of political violence in American history, and even referenced that violence is particularly appalling. The defendant does not appear to be in custody. He's due to be in court in July.
Lou, thanks. An update this morning in Luigi Mangione's state case. His attorneys say they'll be using a psychiatric defense at his murder trial this fall. Mangione is accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Now, this means Mangione would essentially admit to carrying out the murder during a mental health episode. Instead of life in prison for murder, he would get up to 25 years behind bars with a chance for parole before then. Mangione would need a psychiatrist, though, to testify on his behalf. His trial is scheduled for September.
10:06, we are live in D.C. this morning ahead of the Supreme Court's annual June boom. With just 2 weeks to go before their summer recess, the court still has 20 cases left to decide starting today. So let's take a closer look at the biggest cases here. The first one involves an executive order from President Trump ending birthright citizenship for babies whose parents are in the country illegally or temporarily. Justices will also decide whether the president is allowed to fire Federal Reserve Board of Governors member Lisa Cook. We're also keeping an eye on a major immigration case involving the government's power to turn away asylum seekers at the border.
This morning, St. Paul Fire says it's investigating a large house fire. It happened just after 8 on Hyacinth Avenue near Ruth Street North. You can see the damage done to the side of the house there. Fire officials say that the fire also spread to the house next door, but firefighters were able to put it out. Everyone inside the home and 3 pets made it out safely. Sadly, 1 dog died and 8 cats are still unaccounted for.
In Minneapolis, the Park and Recreation Board overwhelmingly voted to close the Minnehaha off-leash dog park by the end of the year. That 8-1 vote comes after an extremely tense board meeting last night. Those in favor of the closure say studies and interviews with indigenous historians determined the area, specifically around Coldwater Spring, a sacred site for the Dakota people. However, those in favor of keeping the park open say this is a special place for dogs, and the discussion has not been transparent or inclusive.
Supporting this resolution is going to worsen animal welfare in our city, period, full stop. Do better.
If you want your dog to have more rights than a person, your neighbor, a fellow human being, shame on you.
The park will remain open to dogs, but by December 31st, they must be on a leash. The park board now plans to identify a replacement off-leash area with similar amenities like water access.